Hello everyone, today we will not increase McDonald's by very many times, but we will prepare a huge latte classic, potato dips, and Big Tasties. By the way, write down what is your favorite burger from McDonald's. I have it as my Big Tasty. Please like it in advance, it's going to be a very interesting video, let's go. Without the beautiful packaging, McDonald's is not McDonald's, so let's repeat the packaging, but on a huge scale. To do this, we will use this kind of corrugated cardboard. We unfold the original packaging, measure the dimensions of the boxes, multiply them, and transfer these dimensions to cardboard. Wherever necessary, we cut them out. And we bend the cardboard exactly according to the marked places. We squeeze out some hot glue and assemble the box. Now our Big Tasty box is ready. We also make a box for the fries. The plastic bucket will serve as a large coffee cup. And we make the lid out of the same cardboard. In my opinion, it turned out pretty well. We arm ourselves with paints, and first of all, we paint a plastic bucket with it from a spray can in yellow. And we cover our cardboard products with acrylic paints. We put the painted lid on the already yellow bucket. We paste the inscription, and it turns out very similar to the glass from McDonald's. Here is such a box that turned out for the fries, and here is what we got for the Big Tasty. By the way, we made it according to the old box design. Maybe from the outside it seems that all of this is not so difficult, but it took us 15 hours to make all these boxes. The first thing we're going to do is make the French fries. This is the same French fries, but only in a different shape. So we need a bag of potatoes. We open it up. And begin to clean it. The peeled potatoes are dumped into a basin. And the same thing a few more times. Now we're left with a full basin of peeled potatoes, but it's dirty. Therefore, we pour them into the sink and fill it with water. We wash the dirt off of each potato and remove all the eyes that we missed the first time. We put the perfectly peeled potatoes in a saucepan and fill that with water so that it completely covers the potatoes. Now we put that onto 2 burners. Our potatoes need to be boiled, but apparently we chose the wrong variety. For the potatoes to get soft, they were cooked for 7 hours. So we drain the excess water. And with the help of a potato masher, we knead the potatoes. When the masses become more or less homogeneous, we add quite a lot of salt and continue to knead. The shape of our fries can be very unusual, so repeat it on a large scale. We take these iron quarters, pour oil onto each of them, and smear that all around with a brush. And now we take our mashed potatoes and put them into the molds. And we ram it all around with our hands. And with the help of some tube-shaped object, we make the most similar shape of the potato dippers. And we throw those into the freezer for a whole day. In the meantime, we'll make a giant coffee. For this, we need 14 liters of milk. We open the bottles and pour them into a large saucepan. We put that onto the stove. And it'll be needed to heat it up to 60 degrees. In the meantime, let's get busy with some coffee beans. They are already fried, so now we just have to grind them. Therefore, put a little bit into a coffee grinder and grind. Our already ground coffee is poured into another saucepan. Thus, we need to grind all our 800 grams of coffee beans. Fill them with 5 liters of water. Mix. And throw all that onto the stove. We pour a lot of sugar into our huge espresso and mix it again. The milk is already hot. Therefore, we scoop it and pour it into a blender. Close and beat the hot milk really well. After this procedure, the milk will turn into a foam. We send the foam into a large glass. And so we pass all the hot milk through the blender the same way. We install a sieve on top, and the coffee is already boiling, so we remove it from the stove and pour it into the large glass. That's our giant latte that's ready, very similar to what they sell at McDonald's. Now let's make a giant Big Tasty. It consists of the Big Tasty sauce, tomatoes, lettuce, onions, cutlets, cheese, and of course buns. We'll start with them. Pour some water into a bowl. Add some dry yeast, salt, sugar, oil, and of course flour. We knead all this together and also add the flour until the dough stops sticking to your hands. We put this onto a baking tray. We bake 1 egg into a bowl and pour in a little milk. Mix that up. And when the dough is risen, we lubricate it with this mixture. Now we sprinkle some sesame seeds on top and into the oven at 200 degrees. Looking ahead, I will say that this test was not enough. We made a double portion and baked a bun like this from it. We released it from the foil and cut it in half. It turned out to be very soft. So now let's make our hamburger. In ground beef, we add some dry garlic and 2 chili pepper and a lot of salt. Well, we mix the spices with our hands. But there is very little fat in this minced meat, and the cutlet will be 100% dry. A piece of lard will help fix all of this. We cut off the unnecessary skin and cut the frozen fat into plates. Then into cubes. And chop it up. That's it. We send the cubes of lard into the minced meat. And mix it again. Now the cutlet will be very juicy. We transfer all the minced meat to the parchment. Done. Now we're going to grill it, so therefore we kindle it. Top the cutlet with some oil and smear it around with your hand. We put the grill grate on top and turn it over. We send the cutlet on to fry. To extinguish the fire, cover it with a lid and later fry without it. We pick up the cutlet with a spatula and turn it over. On this side, fry for another 10 minutes. And it's all ready. Now let's go to the cheese. We will use some emmental for the taste and mozzarella so that it melts well. Cut the cheese into smaller pieces. and grate. All the cheese is then thoroughly mixed together. Divide into half and pour into 2 pots. We put them on the stove and constantly stir them until we wait for the cheese to melt. We will prepare the molds now. Lubricate the plastic trays with oil. Pour out the hot cheese. And distribute it according to the shape. And just let them freeze like that. So for the big tasty sauce, we squeeze out a whole package of mayonnaise. Pour in some paprika, black pepper, crushed garlic. We clean it. Finally chop it. And rub with a knife all over the board. And that's awesome into the sauce. American mustard. Cut a lemon and squeeze the juice out of it. Barbecue sauce is a must. But that's not it. The most important thing left is a little liquid smoke. Stir for the last time and the big tasty sauce is ready. Tomatoes, iceberg lettuce, and onions are all needed from the vegetables. First, peel the onion. And cut it into half rings. This time the onion was very spicy. Got the tomatoes. Well, and now let's put our big tasty together. We spread a slice of cheese onto the bun, then a huge cutlet, another slice of cheese, put on the tomatoes, onion, iceberg lettuce, pour all the sauce out on top, and cover that with the top bun. At this point, a huge big tasty is ready. By this time, the potatoes have already been frozen. You can pull them out. You can pull off the iron corners, and in my opinion, the shape turned out really great. You put a huge saucepan on the burners, and you need a lot of oil. We open it, and make a huge deep fryer. We lower our potato dippers into the hot oil. We take them out and put them onto the paper towels. We also fry the rest. Now let's put them into the box. There we go, we've prepared our giant McDonald's menu. All this took 3 days of work. And in my opinion, it turned out pretty similar to the original. So let's try it all. Our potato dippers. Our dippers have a crust that is not as crispy as in the original. But let's try the coffee. The coffee is delicious, very similar to a Mac latte. And let's finally cut into our big tasty.
Hey everybody, there's not a single person among my subscribers who has not tried a Bounty Bar at least once in his life. Today, we will prepare a Bounty Bar of a simply incredible size. Let's see what the original bar consists of. Outside we see milk chocolate, and inside coconut filling. We go to the store for all the groceries we need. The first thing you need to take is a lot of chocolate. We have 150 chocolate bars in the cart. Coconut shavings. You need a lot. 20 kilograms. 9 kilograms of sugar. Citric acid. Coconut oil. Basically, that's it. Now we can head to the checkout. The check came out to $390. Let's start with the fact that we have a big sheet of wood. Using a ruler and a pencil, we draw everything. By hand, we round the corners. We have drawn the bounty form. Now we just need to cut it out with an electric jigsaw. Done. Now we take the plastic wrap and wrap it. We take 3 boxes of milk chocolates and a bowl. We crush the chocolate bars on the table, open them, and shake out the already broken pieces of chocolate into the bowl. We continue until the bowl is filled. Done. We put water in a saucepan and put that on the stove. Then the bowl of chocolate on top. Now we melt everything in a steam bath, stirring occasionally. Chocolate is porous, so when it melts, it greatly decreases in volume. We add more. We put the melted chocolate on a board, we put the mold on the table, and we pour in the chocolate in portions. And smear it around. All until we cover the entire surface of the mold. Now we take a huge saucepan and all the coconut shavings that we bought. We open each pack and pour it into the bowl. Done! There's almost 20 kilograms of coconut shavings in the saucepan. Now you need 4 kilograms of coconut oil. We open the jars and put them in there as well. Done. But now we need sugar and citric acid. We'll cook the syrup in 2 pots. We open a pack of sugar, measure 300 grams on the kitchen scale, and pour that into a pan. And in the second 300 grams, water is also needed. Measure 130 milliliters and pour it into the sugar. Now turn the stove on high and just wait until the syrup is cooked. Be sure to use a thermometer. As soon as the temperature is reached 107 degrees, we rearrange the pots, add a little citric acid, and mix. We take a 3-liter jar and pour our syrup into it. Between each new batch of syrup, we wash the pan from the previous batch. Again, we measure everything and cook. And keep repeating this. Only one jar is filled. This isn't enough. After another 4 hours, we cooked 8 liters of syrup. Now we just need to pour the syrup into the saucepan and mix. But then I realized that there would be very little filling. So we bought another 50 kilograms of coconut shavings, 10 liters of coconut oil, and 20 liters of glucose syrup from the store. All this cost $315. By the way, playing with the syrup in the bag is a great stress reliever. It is the fucking best. Pour 1 jar of the syrup into a saucepan. We open the glucose syrup and fill the jar with it to understand how much we will add. Pour the first 3 liters. Then another 1.5. Now you need to mix all this with your hands so that all the coconut shavings are soaked with syrup and oil. The mass is heavy and thick, so it's hard to mix. But after 20 minutes, I mixed it all the way through. Our chocolate has been frozen for a long time. We take the coconut filling out and dump it into the mold. Evenly distribute the mass with your hands. And pack it in. We open the bag of coconut shavings. Pour most of it into a saucepan. This time we make a small crater in the coconut shavings. And that's where we pour into our syrup. And then the glucose syrup. We open the canister with coconut oil and pour out 4 liters. This oil is liquidy because it was in hot water. Again, we knead it all together, this time with 4 hands. Then we pour out the contents of the pan. And spread it around. Now we just need to make the final 3rd batch. Put it into the mold as well. It will have to be leveled more carefully so that the shape of the bar looks like a bounty. At first we did it all with our hands, and then we carefully patted it with a board. Done after 2 hours of hard work on the molding. We got what we needed. We take all the remaining chocolates, crush them on the table, open them up, and throw them back into the bowl. And into a steam bath. When all the chocolate has become liquid, pour it over the bar and smear it around with a spatula. Then pour out the second bowl of chocolate. Cover up all the gaps. And finally, the third bowl. I ran out of all the chocolate that I bought. I had to go to the store again and buy a lot more chocolate bars. This cost us $192. The chocolate that flowed down the sides of the bar, we collected from the bottom back into the bowl. We'll just melt it down again. That's how many chocolates we have to crush. To speed up the process, we'll use 2 bowls. Done. We send them to the steam bath. We wait until it melts, and we break more. And we're left with 2 full bowls of hot chocolate. But that's not all. We take the oil, and we add a lot of it to each bowl. Thanks to the oil, the chocolate will become more liquidy. We mix everything well, and pour it into the bar mold. Just look at how beautifully the chocolate fits. Pour out the second bowl of chocolate. And distribute it. Even more chocolate now. We tried to make little curlies on top, like on a Bounty bar, but it didn't work out well enough to make them beautiful, so we poured the final bowl of chocolate on top to smooth out all the irregularities. After 3 days of work until 2 in the morning, our huge Bounty bar is finally ready. After counting all the things that we used, it turned out that this mega monster weighs 134 kilograms, and there are 643,000 calories in this bar. That's a lot. Let's finally cut it. The chocolate layer is carefully cut with a hacksaw, and for the filling, I bought a hefty machete. We cut through the bar. The whole filling in the bar is uniform, as is in the original. Taking into account all additional purchases, our Bounty bar costs $903. Let's cut off a small piece and try our huge Bounty. You know, it doesn't taste like what it looks like. It just tastes like a Bounty.